Emery on the record with Randy Travis. Next.
And then right here, I know this is your manager, right? So I'm not going to worry about this. Folks, you know that this guy is single. And I just want you to know that if I was 20 years younger and I was single, and you like little blondes with the big hair and big ideas, that I would be giving you a run for your money. Randy Travis. And then, again, over here's a guy that I've known since we was both little boys, right? Yeah, we've been working together for a long time. That's how I knew you played cards. We used to travel years ago around. Anyway, I know you're excited about tonight. You're doing great. Hank Williams Jr., Bo Cephas. And I know you're anxious to know who won, and I'm anxious to tell you. Hold on to that.
All right.
Now, don't you say nothing. You didn't see, did you? Well, it ain't yours. It's Randy Travis. Randy Travis.
After all that, I found myself trying to remember what I just won.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again to On the Record. It's been said that what Hank Williams was to country music in the 1950s, the charismatic Johnny Cash was in the 1960s, and what the red-headed stranger Willie Nelson was in the 1970s, Randy Travis became in the 1980s. And today he remains one of country music's royal family of superstars. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Randy Travis.
Thanks, Ralph.
Have a seat. Well, first of all, I've got to ask you, did you ever figure out what you won?
Well, by the time I got to the top of the stairs and almost to the mic, yeah, it came back. It took me a minute. It took a minute. Dolly has that way with people.
Oh, yes. How have you been?
I've been doing well. I've been traveling a lot. We had 9 months there where we were at home 2 days during that 9 months, and the rest of the time we lived on the bus probably 90% of the time.
At one time you gave up touring, didn't you?
I did. I stopped touring for about 2 years. After doing it for about 8 years, 11 months out of each year, I needed a break from it. And, you know, it was fun to take a break, and now, after being off for that time and being back, it just seems more fun than ever.
I first met Randy Travis through the television show Nashville Now, and we had a lot of fun on Nashville Now, and we're going to recall some of that fun in this show. And I thought we would go for a fun moment right at the top of this show. Randy, do you remember the time that we had as a guest on the front row of Nashville Now a lady who was 100 years old, or as I said, 100 years young?
I do remember that.
And she wanted to meet Randy Travis. Her name was Nettie Hardison, and this was her birthday present. They brought her to Nashville Now to see Randy. Now, watch the videotape, because she's crazy about Randy, and she won't turn him loose. Okay? Let's go back to about 1991. So Randy, would you come out here? Nettie, and here's Randy.
Your granddaughter, and she called me from Omaha, said Randy's gonna be on. And she said, would you do what you said you'd do if he ever comes to your door? I said, sure, I'd hug him.
It's great to meet you. I'm glad you could come out.
you come see me in my home. Next woman comes, she said, I'm going to locate Randy Travis and have him come to your house. I said, for God's sake, do.
Well, thank you.
I love you.
Nettie,
Well, thanks.
I don't think Nettie wants to turn him loose.
Well, thanks, Ned.
Nettie, if you'll turn him loose, we'll let him sing a song.
I better go up here. Yeah. I tell you what, for 100 years old, she had a heck of a grip.
You know, we cut out a little bit early because as Randy is trying to get away, you know, he's trying to be very nice and diplomatic, and he knows he's got to sing, and so he turns a little bit away from her. She grabbed him by the neck. But she did love you, Randy.
She was great. She was great.
And you were very nice to her.
That was a lot of fun. There was a lot of fun times on the Nashville Now show. I missed that.
What happened on May 4th, 1959 in Marshville, North Carolina?
I was born. I was born 1959, yeah, in Union County. And my mom and dad had no idea what they were in for.
We have a number of your pictures as a little person. Do you recognize this one?
This is a picture of my dad. My dad has been riding horses since he was a baby, I guess. And this is a horse that he trained. This horse was named Lucky, and that's me sitting in the saddle. And, of course, the horse was trained to do tricks. He was kneeling here, and I don't know, I must have been, what, 3 or 4 months old there.
He looks like a Palomino.
He was a Palomino, had 4 white stocking legs. He was beautiful.
And your daddy looks a great deal like you in that picture, I think.
Yeah, you know, he was, when he was 21 years old, he was 6'1" and weighed 120 pounds.
Wow.
He was very lean. He was very lean.
Was your father the reason that you became a singer?
Oh, yeah, yeah. He bought a guitar, and he insisted. I mean, my brother is a year older than I am, and he had already been taking guitar lessons and singing. And that's a great shot. And so he insisted that we both take guitar lessons and learn to sing. But Ricky didn't want to sing, so I ended up doing the singing, playing acoustic, and he played lead guitar and would do some harmony vocals. And he also insisted that we practice. And had it not been for him, I wouldn't have done this.
How many siblings do you have in your family?
There's 6 of us, 4 boys and 2 girls. I'm next to the oldest.
You have 2 sisters and 3 brothers.
That's right.
And the brothers all became a family band, didn't they?
At one time, we all played music, all 6 of us. We had pianos, mandolins, steel guitars, dobros, guitar, drums, all kind of instruments around the house. And we all played at one time. But Ricky and I were the only ones who really cared about it in the long run.
Who did the lead vocals?
I did.
You always did that?
Yeah.
Did you do harmony?
Ricky would sing harmony, and so would 1 or 2 of the other members that came and went throughout the band.
When you were about, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, you really became a hell-raising teenager, didn't you?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, I got into a lot of trouble. That's what I meant a while ago when I said Mom and Dad didn't know what they were in for, because they had a lot of hard years there, because well, so did Ricky and David and most of the kids, actually, all but about 2 of them, got really involved in a lot of alcohol and drugs, and so a lot of trouble came because of that. You know, I'm talking about things like, well, a lot of fights. Fighting wasn't so bad, but losing was killing me. But, you know, you get into a lot of fights, and then a lot of driving under the influence and trying to outrun policemen and breaking and entering and that sort of thing.
Did anybody ever tell you that trying to outrun the police is not a good idea?
It's hard to do. It is almost impossible.
I read somewhere where you were doing 135 miles per hour.
Yeah, 145. They clocked me at 145. I was 15 and drinking that day and using drugs also, but I had borrowed my brother's car, stole it, basically, I guess you'd say. And I was driving around, and the policeman pulled me over, and I pulled over to start with, and he walked up to the car, and I don't know why, I just thought, well, I can probably outrun him. And so I tried, and it lasted probably 20 minutes, and it was an exceptionally fast car. They actually couldn't keep up with it, but I just totally lost control of it into a curve running probably 120, and went a little too far to the inside, hit the grass, and just started going, you know, making circles, and then backwards through a field, and never turned it over. I have no idea why that car didn't turn over. Totaled the car without turning it over.
Did it scare you?
Yeah, it did, and you know, it hurt at the time a little bit. The policeman was so mad when he finally got to the car that he didn't even open the door. He pulled me out through the window. And he jerked me out by the collar through the window and said a few choice words, and then handcuffed me and put me in the car and took me to the jail.
Were you drunk, or were you drinking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very drunk.
Were you pilled up?
That, too, yeah.
What were you taking back in those days?
Anything and everything. You know, I would take speed a lot of times. I would take acid, MDA, THC, smoke marijuana, drink whiskey, beer, whatever was around. Just everything.
Why?
I don't know. I have no idea. To begin with, I think that happened because of peer pressure. You know, you say no for a certain amount of time, and then people keep at you, here, drink this, take this, smoke this, and you finally say, well, okay. And then, unfortunately, I liked it and continued to do a lot of it throughout, I don't know, several years there, a 3 or 4 year period.
Tell me about breaking and entering.
That happened there again, drunk, and broke into a store that was above my mom and dad's house, and then kind of, being that messed up, you're not too careful about fingerprints, so you're not, I mean, no way you're going to get away with it, of course. And so we hid for a few days, and then finally just gave up, and they arrested us.
Now, this incident takes you to a judge who wants to put you in the prison or in the penitentiary.
Well, the day we went in to court, of course, we had our meeting before going in, and I had been in court so many times before for various charges, and he said, you know, I'm not going to be able to get you out of this. You're probably going to go to prison for about 5 years.
Who said that to you?
My lawyer. And Lib was there, of course, now my wife, and
Liv Hatcher.
Yeah, has been manager for many years now. But she was there, and at that point, you know how that goes with court. You keep putting off the date as long as possible. And so that happened, and she was there to stand up and say that at that point, I was singing 5 nights a week, which I was, and not running with the same crowd and not drinking anymore, not using any more drugs, which was not all totally true, but he, for some reason, released me kind of in her custody, I guess you'd say, and I remember he told me that day, son, I'm going to let you go one more time, but if you come before me again, you better bring your toothbrush because you're staying. I said, okay, and I never went back again.
When you reflect on that, how close you came to going to prison, does that give you a little shudder?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I would hate to have been in prison. I had to go in for like 10 weekends at one point and stay in the local jail every weekend for 10 weekends, so I got a little bit of a taste of that.
Just because of driving under the influence?
I don't remember what it was for. To be truthful, there were so many things back in those days, but just an accumulation of several things, and had been on probation already for quite some time, and so they sentenced me to 10 weekends in jail. I'd go in on Friday, get out on Monday, and go back to work.
So you had a little taste?
Yeah, I had a taste, and of course I'd already been there many times anyway for a day or two at a time.
You know, Randy, sometimes we are our own worst enemies.
Yeah.
And I think in your case you were.
Oh, yeah.
And your story is beautiful because you overcame all that.
Finally, yeah.
Randy, when did you move to Nashville?
We've been here 15 years, I guess.
And you moved to the Nashville Palace, a nightclub actually across the street from this complex.
For about 3.5 years, yeah.
Okay, now when you came to Nashville, you moved here and you took a job over here at the Nashville Palace. I think Lib took over as manager of the Nashville Palace. Mm-hmm. You took a job as a...
Actually, what happened, she was managing already, and they were short on help, and so I was there helping. I did several times, went in and would help out doing whatever, cleaning the place up, washing dishes, or whatever needed doing. And John, one of the owners who kind of runs things over there, John Haas, he was watching me one day and told her, put that boy on the payroll. And so she did, and I ended up cleaning up, washing dishes, cooking, and after a while singing. But I never stopped cleaning up, cooking, and washing dishes. I would always go in, you know, at 4 in the evening and work till about 9 or 10 at night, and then start singing till somewhere between 12 and 2.
You were a pretty good cook, and I know firsthand because you came to Nashville Now one night, and you brought my dinner.
Yeah, that's right.
And we have that videotape. It's a moment that I will always remember. Let's go to that tape, please.
You're always talking about me cooking, so I cooked something and brought it over to you tonight.
You cooked all this?
I fixed all that for you.
You gotta be kidding. We have shrimp and steak. What's this in the middle?
Lobster.
Tomatoes, a croissant, no less. You fixed all this?
Yeah, I cooked
Where'd you do that?
Over at the palace right before I came over here.
Do you cook over there?
Yeah, I cooked. In fact, last night I had to cook.
You remember that?
Yeah, very well. Oh, yeah.
You know, I have hanging in my office a picture of that moment. And Randy signed it, "Dear Ralph, this will never happen again." Best wishes, Randy Travis.
I think we have a picture of that in the office also.
You paid your dues. You also changed your name from Trawick to Randy Ray.
Yeah.
Was that your idea?
No, actually, that change or the change to Travis was not my idea. That came from a friend of ours, people that you know, Ann and Tiny Tant down in Georgia. His name is Ray Tant. And so he said, why don't you change your name to Randy Ray, since we were having so much trouble with Trawick? And I said, okay, sounds okay to me. So there it is on the album.
Okay, now when was this album done?
This album was done, good question, around probably 81 or 2.
This was not on a major label. This was something I guess you sold in-house.
Yeah, we just made this to sell in the palace.
I had heard, Randy, that you were turned down by every record label in Nashville at one time. Is that true?
I've been turned down by every label. Well, not now because there's so many new labels, but at that point I was turned down by every label in this town 2 and 3 times. And I'm with Warner Brothers and have been for a little over 10 years now. I was turned down by them twice. So, you know,
a lot of perseverance. Tell these people who Martha Sharp is.
Martha is a lady who has retired very recently from Warner Brothers, but she was the head of A&R. When I was singing over here at the Palace, she came out one night and listened to me, and I spoke with her a few minutes after we finished that set. And honestly, I didn't think she was very impressed at all. She didn't seem overly impressed. She didn't say much. And when she left, I thought, well, there's another no. And it was probably a couple of months after that I was signed to the label and working on the first album.
She also changed your name again, didn't she?
She did. She didn't like Randy Ray, and she didn't like Randy Trawick, and we were trying to think of something, and she one day said, how about Travis? I said, okay, I can live with that. And so it stuck.
First record was On the Other Hand?
On the Other Hand, yeah. And had high hopes for it. I remember hearing the first time it was played for Kyle, myself, Lib, and Charlie Monk. And I remembered the first time thinking, that sounds like a hit to me. I want to record it. And we did. And put it out the first time, and it got to 60-something in the charts, 67, I believe, or somewhere in that area. And then it fell off the charts. I thought, it didn't do quite as well as I wanted. But, you know, we put out 1982, and at that time I was still working at the Palace, playing some weekend shows, working with house bands wherever we went. And then 1982 was a top 10 record.
Was 1982 changed?
Yeah, it was 1962 originally. And Lib said, you know, it would probably work better for you with your age to be 1982. It would make it actually believable that way.
And that became your first hit?
It was the first real hit, yeah. First top 10. It was #1 in a few charts. And then, of course, came On the Other Hand one more time.
Okay, now, I've got a question here. Here's a song that had been put out previously by Warner Brothers Records, and it only went to number 67. Why in the world would they put it out again?
Well, because we believed in it, and Lib, I think, pestered Nick Hunter at that time, the head of promotions at Warner Brothers, so much that I remember he called us on the road and said, well, Hatcher, that's what he used to call her, well, Hatcher, you're going to get your way. We're going to release it one more time and see what happens. And, of course, it was #1 record for, I think, 2 weeks in a row, and Song of the Year that year.
Randy, we've moved from washing dishes and singing over here at the Nashville Palace, being Randy Ray. Now you've moved over here and you're Randy Travis, start having hit records. Now you become the idol of American youth and idol of the airwaves. You really become the boy next door to most people. I think the comment I heard the most often, in addition to commenting on your talent, was how nice you were.
Well,
but
I appreciate
for
that.
a kid from Marshville, North Carolina, and you happened very quickly in my estimation.
Once it started,
Once
yeah.
it started. Your world had to be turned upside down.
Yeah, it happened very fast. I mean, after about 10 years of trying to get in this business, and all at once you're called an overnight success. And it happened really quick, but at the same time, you're so busy that you're not realizing everything that's happening, because you're so busy getting from point A to point B to do another show, and all the interviews in between, trying to record somewhere in the middle, trying to write songs when you can find the time, and then trying to find a little bit of quiet time to keep your sanity. It's hard to realize everything that's going on.
In the scheme of things, which record, in terms of release, was Forever and Ever Amen? Is that the fourth one?
That would be, see, On the Other Hand first, in 1982, then On the Other Hand, and then Forever and Ever Amen, so the fourth one, yeah.
Okay. And it really became your signature song.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the biggest song that we've ever had. And, you know, it's one of those songs that has meant a lot of different things to a lot of people. You know, it's been used for a lot of weddings, of course, and I've gotten videotapes and audio tapes and pictures and letters, all about weddings. But at the same time, one thing that I'll always remember most of all was a little girl who went through chemotherapy, and I got a letter from her mom, and when that song was a hit was when this happened to her, and she'd lost all her hair. And that one line in that song, you know, if it all fell out, I'd love you anyway. And
yeah, I'm not in love with your hair.
Yeah, honey, I'm not in love with your hair, and if it all fell out, I'd love you anyway. And her mom said that song, she was going through a really bad time, and said that song really made a difference in her life after hearing it and hearing that one line in there. So when somebody writes you a letter like that and you've recorded a song that does that for somebody, you feel like you've done something good.
Randy, you joined the Grand Ole Opry in 1986. That had to be a thrill.
It was a thrill because of being such a fan of the opera, you know, that I mean, the home of country music. I never could pick up the Opry in North Carolina, but I remember my dad talking about coming to Nashville and going to the Opry and then going to Tootsie's, you know, when it was there at the old Ryman, and seeing several of the singers, Ray Price being one, who had just finished at the Opry and had read so many things about it, and it was really a thrill the first time to walk on stage. Honestly, it scared me to death.
You sang as a guest, and then in 1986, in December, they made you a regular member.
Ricky Skaggs was there and inducted me into the Grand Ole Opry. It was a big night.
You got to meet Miss Minnie and Mr. Roy.
Had a lot of fun with Minnie and a lot of fun with Roy. And I'll tell you a funny story. I was back here one night in Hal Durham's office, and Roy was in there, and we got to talking. Roy Acuff was in there, and we got to talking about him traveling the way he traveled in the early days and working some really rough clubs and talking about, he started the conversation talking about fighting, and I said, yeah, I know what you mean. I've been in a bunch of them myself. He said, you a fighter? I said, well, yeah, I've been in a lot of them. He said, that's good to hear. And he said, I'll tell you what. He said, when I was a young man, I fought a lot. He said, when I hit a man, if he didn't go down, I walked around behind him, see what was propping him up.
That's a great story.
It was. I'll always remember that. I had so much fun being around Roy.
While we're talking about Minnie Pearl, we have a video memory of a night on Nashville Now, I think in 1990. And she was a guest, you were a guest, and the two of you did a routine together. I thought you might like to see it again. Could we show that, please?
Ralph, if you don't mind, I'm going to have just a sort of a private conversation with Randy.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Randy, I just want to tell you, I really think you're awfully nice.
Well, thank you, Minnie. I think you're awfully nice, too.
See? Randy, I really do think that you're awfully kind.
Well, thank you, Minnie. I think you're awfully kind, too.
See there? And I think you're thoughtful, too.
Well, you're an awfully thoughtful person, too, Minnie. Thank you.
See there? And I think you're very good-looking.
Well, I appreciate that, Minnie. I think you're an awfully thoughtful person.
He hurt my feelings. I'd be ashamed. And here I am old enough to be your mother or your grandmother, and I ought to whip you. No, that's cute. He did that better than anybody I've ever done it with.
You asked him.
Oh, I imagine you could say that about a lot of things.
I forgot that last comment.
Oh, a magic night with Cousin Minnie Pearl.
That was great.
Are you still into physical fitness and martial arts and that sort of thing?
I got into the martial arts several years back, and I had already been training, lifting, of course, and running, that sort of thing, and training like a boxer would train, you know, jumping rope, speed bag, heavy bag, that sort of stuff. And then I met Chuck Norris, and he was nice enough to start training me in the martial arts. He holds a black belt in probably about 8 different styles, and so he combines all of those together. So I started training with him, and there for a couple of years, it seems like I was seeing him quite a bit. We'd run out to L.A., and then I worked with him on a show for the network, and he trained me a lot. He was great. I tell you, he plays rough, though.
Well, wait a minute, Randy. Let me see if Chuck Norris remembers this. He's here.
Here?
Right there. Via satellite. Hello, Chuck.
Hi, how you doing? Hello, Randy.
Hey, Chuck.
Chuck, do you recall teaching the martial arts to Randy and being in these fight scenes?
Oh, yeah, sure. I did one with him in Hawaii, as he was just telling you about. And we did a fight scene. Now, Randy, I had to win. I'm your teacher, so the teacher always has to win. But we did. The director, for some reason, really got into our fight scene, and he kept asking us to do it over and over and over again, which was fine with me because I was beating up Randy, so it didn't matter to me. But it was a fun time. I had a great time going over to Hawaii and working with Randy on that show, and look forward to doing it again sometime.
Do you work out every day?
I try to, yeah. I'm on hiatus right now from my TV show, so I'm training every day now.
You working with Carlos a lot now, Chuck?
Yeah, I brought Carlos Machado down to Dallas to continue my jiu-jitsu training. Carlos Machado is one of the leading world jiu-jitsu men that Randy and I have trained with.
That is an interesting form of fight. Now remember, with Chuck, one time, and I've never told you this, Chuck, you and I were wrestling. This is one of the first times I ever did the jiu-jitsu. And we left your house and went over to their place. And anyway, you and I were wrestling, and I had you in a frontal headlock. You were on your back on the mat. And, of course, I didn't tuck my head down quite as far as I should have. And so you came up and hooked me around the neck with your knee and slammed me to the mat pretty hard. And it felt like somebody hooked a 220 like up to my lower spine, and it went all the way up to the base of my head. And I couldn't move at all, actually, for about 10 seconds. And I remember Carlos ran over and said, "You okay?" And I was kind of like in this position. I said, "I'm fine." I didn't tell y'all at this time, and then he didn't. I think you said, "Are you sure you're okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." And then after about 10 seconds, I could move. And when I got to the car, when Dennis, my brother that you met, and Lib came to pick me up, I got in the back seat. I said, "Lib, get me a chiropractor now."
Chuck, was he a good student?
Randy's a tremendous athlete. You know, when I started training him in the martial arts, he adapted to it exceedingly well. When
we talk about martial arts, how many types of martial arts are there?
Oh, gosh, you know, there's, from every country, there's, you know, karate, taekwondo, kung fu, jiu-jitsu. You know, there's dozens of styles. And I've been doing it now for 36 years, so I've adapted myself to quite a few of the styles.
I remember being at your house one day, and after we had punched and kicked for right at 2 hours, you said, "Let's do some cardiovascular work." I said, "Say what?" And then we went to the Stairmaster, Nordic track, treadmill, and whatever else you had in your house.
Yeah, those days I was training like 3 hours a day. And Randy, you were keeping up with me, though. Not many people could do that then.
Well, Chuck, I thank you for being a part of our salute to Randy Travis. And good luck to you.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be on the show.
Hey, congratulations on Walker, Chuck.
Thank you, Randy.
Good to see you again.
I hope you'll be able to make Monica my wedding in August. I hope you and Lib can make it down here.
We're going to try our best to.
Okay, Randy. See you.
All right, take care.
All right, Chuck Norris.
You know, after the very first day of working out with him and the guys that he trains with, we were out playing the Universal Amphitheater, I know at that time, and I remember waking up on the bus the next morning. Liv had already gotten up and was making breakfast, I guess. But anyway, you know, that is something unlike I'd ever done before. The moves, the stretches, the different soreness is just totally different. And anyway, I woke up in bed, and I started to reach up and turn the light on. I said, "Oh," and moved around. My shoulder loosened up, and my stomach was hurting. My lower back was hurting. My chest was sore. My arms, my quadriceps were killing me. And I finally moved around a little, sat up in bed, put my feet on my floor, and I looked down. My feet were kind of green in some spots and black and blue in other spots. I said, "Look at my feet. He's ruined me."
I want to go back to the records. Deeper Than the Holler.
Yeah, that, I remember hearing it the first time, and I thought, you know, this sounds like a hit to me, like several that I've been fortunate enough to have. We were working in London, and one time, I think I probably told you this story, and there was a guy who was a stagehand. He said, "What is a holler?" I said, "What do you think a holler is?" He said, "To beckon at high volume." So they didn't, I was singing this song and they had really no idea what it meant.
You used to sing a little parody for me. Was that the parody on Deeper Than the Holly?
No, it was Digging Up Bones.
Oh, okay.
Somebody, gosh, I hope I can remember this. Somebody wrote a parody on this, and what it's about is a guy has died, and he owed this man money. And so, I can't remember the verses, but they were really clever too. And the chorus went into this. It said, I'm digging up Jones, assuming he's asleep beneath this stone. I'll respect his memory when he pays me back my loan. But tonight I'm in the graveyard digging up Jones.
I love that. Randy, I want to talk about Lib Hatcher.
All right.
Lib Hatcher saved you from prison, became your manager, and became your wife eventually.
Yeah.
But you kept that relationship very quiet, at least to the media, for a long time, didn't you?
Yeah, of course, everybody that we knew, and I got a feeling pretty much everybody else did it. During the early days of the career anyway, I think pretty much everybody had figured it out. But the reason that we denied that was when we first signed with Warner Brothers and the record, like on the other hand, 1982 first hit, I didn't know how to handle that. So I'm asking the people at Warner Brothers, I mean, we were living together, we weren't married, of course, the age difference too. And so I said, how should I handle this? And their advice to me was deny that the relationship exists.
But she was your significant other.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
But Warner Brothers said, deny this?
Their publicity people, yeah, that was their advice, just deny it. And I said, well, okay. And so we just went along with that. And you know, when it finally was out in the open, it's like, man, that's a big weight lifted off your shoulder.
Randy, tell me about your movie career.
You know, it started with, I was real fortunate to work with this guy because I was a big fan of his, Andy Griffith. I love the old show, Sheriff Andy Taylor. And what's funny is when you talk to him one-on-one, he says things and it's like, it sounds just like Sheriff Andy Taylor talking to you. There's no difference. He is so good at being totally himself in front of the camera and saying his dialogue. There's no difference.
He gave you some acting lessons, didn't he? Briefly.
Yeah, he hung around. He hung around a lot more. We'd gotten to be friends, you know, and he hung around the set more and was kind of giving me advice, which I really appreciated. I mean, who better to take advice from on acting? And, you know, it's funny, he told me, we were talking about taking acting lessons. He said, don't worry about that. He said, I never took an acting lesson in my life. He said, you got kind of a natural thing going, just work with that and you'll be okay.
I heard, and I remember hearing about your being over in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I guess a couple of years ago. And you were making a movie about Frank and Jesse James.
Yeah, that's right.
And just prior to taping this show, I rented the movie, which you can rent at your favorite rental place. And this is it. It's a wonderful movie.
Oh, thanks.
And you played Cole Younger, one of the younger brothers. And I thought you did an outstanding job in this picture.
Well, thank you,
I was very
Ralph.
proud of you.
I appreciate that. We worked in Arkansas, Fayetteville and Fort Smith area, and met a lot of nice people there. And the folks that we worked with in the show were wonderful. We got to be friends with a lot of these guys. And, you know, it was a good learning thing for me. And it was fun, of course, playing a cowboy because I'd always wanted to do that. But, man, was it cold. It was some days 5 degrees. It got to 0. It got a little below 0. And it's hard to believe how cold gunmetal is at 0. It hurts.
Why did they choose to shoot this in the winter?
They wanted that look. They just wanted that hard, cold look. And they got it.
I'm going to show you a scene here. You're going to have a scene with Rob Lowe. Now, Bill Paxton is Frank James.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe is Jesse James.
That's right.
And I thought this was your best scene in the picture, so I pulled it so we could show it and share it with these folks. I guess you're in some kind of cave.
Yeah, there was a scene in a cave.
After the first bank robbery with the James gang.
Yeah, everybody separated after the robbery, then met in the cave, that's right.
And I think Frank is going to divvy up the money, and you're not too sure you want him to divvy...
Jesse's going to...
Excuse me. Jesse's going to divvy up the money, and you're going to face him down.
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch it.
How counterfeit?
Who died and made you ramrod?
That man at the bank. You figure different?
I'm not afraid of you if that's what you're thinking. I shoot faster and cleaner any day. Always did.
Then why don't you get at it?
Chew on something else, Bob. This is between them.
What's it gonna be, Cole?
I know I can kill you. I'm just not convinced you'd stay dead.
How many takes on that scene?
I don't know, probably about four takes. And it was really interesting. This cave, New Year's Eve, that's how we spent our New Year's Eve. When New Year's rolled around, that's where we were doing this scene. And the cave was full of bats. And so they would light the fire, and when it would get smoking a little bit, these bats, they were hanging everywhere. I mean, thousands of them. And when the smoke would get to the ceiling, they would start turning loose, and so bats were kind of circling around above your head, which wasn't real fun, you know. Everybody's walking around going, ducking.
Going to make any more movies?
Yeah, you know what?
Part of your career?
I hope so. I enjoy it. I don't consider myself to be a great actor at any stretch of the imagination, but I do enjoy doing it. I want to learn to be a competent actor, and I want to continue working on that, one or two projects a year if that can come along. I have right now 3 scripts to read, believe it or not.
You did a nice job, too, in the television show Touched by an Angel.
Oh, yeah, thanks. I love that show. I think that's one of the better shows being made today, and I think that's something that people in TV land ought to concentrate more on making, you know. Yeah, and it's funny, I mean, not to preach or anything, but you listen to shows, and there's so many things, and it's, yeah, I'm shocked sometimes at what they get by with saying on regular TV that kids can watch. Mm-hmm. And I love that show, and I think that they should concentrate on doing some more like that because it just has a good message.
Randy, I'm very proud of you. Known you for a long time, since you came to Nashville. Yeah. And you continue to be America's favorite. And I thank you for coming and talking with me.
Thank you, Ralph. Always a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Travis. Enjoy it.